Well, nobody likes to be up here in this time, and I feel bad. We played so well first 12 minutes, and then I don't know, the ball just stuck. We didn't move it as well, and give them credit. I mean, we played a good team, but one thing I will say about these guys all year, they could have thrown in the towel many a times. What we went through, and we started out second half. They hit a 3 to go up 12. And within 4 minutes, we had it cut to 2. And, give guys like Tremble credit, 2 big blocks. We had a couple missed cutouts, and yet the things that we wanted to do, out-rebound them, was big. We did. Shoot a decent percentage. We shot really well the first half. Not turn the ball over too much. We had 11. That's a little high for us. But we just didn't come up with big plays, and they did. Key times, and then it's happened to us 3 times this year. It's never a good omen when a shot banks in at the end of a shot clock, and it happened a couple times this year. So I'm proud of the fact that we could have given up. These guys been through a lot, but we got beat by a really good team in a tough environment, and I'll just say, hats off to Carolina and HOggard and their team, but I'm not going to hang my head because I don't believe it was a 16-point loss, and there were so many ebbs and flows that were monstrous in that game, and that's it.
Okay, questions for Tyson, Malik, AJ? Raise your hand and let's get the mic to you, please. Front row, first question.
Jim Comparoni, SpartanMag.com. Congratulations, guys, on a good season. Malik, where did you feel like this game kind of got away as it was getting away, and what were you trying to do as a team to try to stem the tide against a really talented team that kept pouring offense at you guys? Where did you think it got away?
I'd have to say probably around the 8-minute mark. I think we were just talking about it in the second half. We had cut it pretty close, and then we just had some mistakes, offensive rebounds. They hit some tough shots, and then after that, we couldn't get anything to go on offense, I don't think, really, and that's just kind of where I felt like it went.
Jim, someone else going? Thank you. Jim Comparoni, SpartanMag.com. Tyson, thanks for coming out here in a tough situation to speak with us. We appreciate that in the interviews all year. Can we ask you for your thoughts? Splendid career, great career. Your thoughts as it came to an end, and your thoughts on this game today?
Shoot. Been in college for a little while, so, it's going to be weird. No more practice, no more games. But I think we played well in the beginning, just didn't execute, and they did. They made big plays. We didn't. For the underclassmen, it'll be something for them to learn. How the game goes. You can't have big mistakes. And the game is fragile.
Front row.
Tom Shanahan, Spartan Mag. It is quite remarkable you guys stayed together all year with all you've been through. It's easy to see a team fall apart with all the experiences you guys had this year. What held you together?
I would say we didn't even think about falling apart. We knew we were better than what we were doing. I think that made us even closer. Just trying to figure out why we was having those slumps. But I don't think, it's basketball. You can't just, because you lose some games, fall out with people you've been grinding with for some years now. So I think that's what kept us together.
Graham Couch, Lansing State Journal, for any of you guys. When you were on that surge, it's 26-14, 27-16, and things are really going well. Did it feel like this was sustainable? I'm not saying to that degree, but did it feel like you really had something rolling, or could you tell that, I don't know, could you tell that North Carolina was due a little bit?
AJ?
I think we definitely thought we could definitely make a run in the tournament in general, and just being up especially being in this environment where it's a lot of blue and they're close to home. And starting off the way we did and doing the things we did with the way we've been playing the last couple of weeks, we definitely thought we had a chance. So I think we definitely thought we had a chance. We just didn't finish how we thought we were going to.
Malik?
I honestly forgot the question. I ain't even gonna lie. What'd you ask?
Did it feel sustainable when it was that lead early on and the way you guys were playing?
Yeah, I mean, it felt sustainable for sure. We were pretty much getting what we wanted, which is what everybody likes. Obviously, we know the basketball is a game of runs, and that we know that they were due for a run just because they're a great team. But I mean, we definitely still thought it was sustainable, and we'd be able to sustain that run even if they did go on.
Okay, thanks, guys. Congratulations, a great year. We'll head back to the locker room. Locker room will be open for a little bit longer.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, questions for Coach Izzo? Front row?
Oh, absolutely. Tom, Jim Comparoni, SpartanMag.com. Ingram being a difference maker today, a guy that can go inside out, they can go big and put him in the three and those things. Your thoughts on him being a game changer in this game? I'm sure he had a plan. He's high on the scouting report, but your thoughts about the way he came through
Yeah,
today,
you
how
know,
tough
Doug
he was?
Wojcik said it, you know, it was his scout, and he said he's the X factor, and he was the X factor. I mean, you know, we felt like we had to double down on him. We were picking and choosing, and I mean, he hit some big shots. You know, he's a 31% three-point shooter, and he hit them. You know, we decided to do what we did with Cadeau, and we decided to do. We didn't try to give Ingram those shots, but he made a couple, and then he got hot, and he made a bunch. But you know, when you look at it, they made, as they said, big plays. Some was a block, some was an offensive rebound. They only had 5 of them, but they scored 10 points on them. You know, they scored 16 points off our turnovers, and we didn't have a slew of them. So I thought everything we wanted to do, we did. I thought our offense let us down in that 8-minute mark of the first half. And then what people don't realize is we were 2 down with 8 minutes left in the game, and that was after a banked-in shot. And we just couldn't make the plays, and they did make the plays.
Any other questions here in the room, front row?
Tom Shanahan, Spartan Mag. There were a lot of times this year when, you know, you were disappointed with the team's play, and then you watched the film and you came back and you said they were, you know, there were some highlights. What do you think kept the team together? Because I think it would have been easy for a lot of other teams to fall apart.
Yeah, I think you're right. You know, I think that shows something about maybe their character, maybe my coaching staffs, and maybe the culture that we have at our place. You know, I think those 3 things had a lot to do with it. The former guys, you know, still encouraging, calling. But listen, I'm not making any bones about it. We underachieved, and that falls on me. And I've said that before, and I'll say it again. That's why I thought we could make a run. When people said, why? Because, you know, I mean, it wasn't always our fault. You know, you can't go 7 of 17 from the line on the road and lose a game down the stretch. You know, I don't care how good you are, you can't do that. And we did things like that this year, uncharacteristically, since we've been a pretty good free throw shooting team. But, you know, I think all in general, what's saddest for me is these last 2-3 weeks have been the most fun, when things should have been the biggest grind. When you sit in a film room like we do, and my staff says, look at down there, and I got 4 guys down there working on academics. I got 3 guys over on the side watching film together. I got 4 guys in the other room watching one of the games that was going on. In other words, everybody started spending more and more time together, you know, and it's my worry that all these kids have so many other things to do, that does it take the tournament to really get them to focus in? How can I do a better job of that throughout the whole year? And that'll be my challenge this spring.
Last question to our right.
Sean Windsor, Detroit Free Press. Tommy, just talk about the fun you had when down the stretch. I mean, maybe it's a grind, and you guys played well in Minneapolis. Obviously, didn't make shots against Purdue, but I thought you played well. And then that stretch today, it's one of the things that's going to be tough about the season as a whole. It's kind of to your point, what you just said about not quite figuring out how to get there earlier, so that when today you're not throwing an alley-oop, it's fumble. You're not throwing a pass where there's nobody on the side. I'm not to single out anybody, but they're just those little, not turning your head on a backdoor cut, just those little tiny things in the margins that are important against the number 1 seed, right?
You know, there's a poem out there that I gave to my players about 3 weeks ago. It's called Every Possession Matters. Really, really, really hard for a freshman to understand that. Really, really hard. You know, my bad, coach, it's just one play, you know. And it ends by, you know, we didn't do this, didn't do this, didn't do this. And at the end of the day, oh, by the way, I guess it was bigger than I thought because we lost by 2. And that has been the way it's been. And I think part of it, you know, I think if AJ would have led like he's led these last couple of weeks, I think that would have made a difference. I think, you know, we had some injuries that hurt us and some guys that were out, but everybody has injuries. But I think Kohler, you know, we were so changing people right and left, you know, and then the development of our young guys, you know. I mean, you've heard everybody say it. It's really hard to do that this day and age, and they'll be much better. And but yeah, it made it frustrating because I kept saying to myself, I know this team has enough. And you know what? I'll leave today believing I'm right. I really think we have enough that we could have made a little run. I really do. Yeah, we would have had to get it past the mountain, but we had them down. We come back in the second half, and you know, when we took a couple of punches, and they took some too, and we just couldn't get over the hump. And you know, somehow I got to do a better job. I got to figure that out. And I promise you, between now and October, I will.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, guys.